One day soon, you're going to look back at Bitcoin's price and laugh. Or cry. Not because it doubled, but because it kept going and never came back. There is a number out there that almost no one talks about that explains exactly why that is. And once you see it, you'll understand why the price could only go one way, up forever, Laura. What happens when one asset starts absorbing the value of everything? Not just money, but property, companies, stocks, resources, art, and every new thing that humans will ever create. It's not a guess, it's baked into math. Once you get it, you'll never look at Bitcoin's price the same way again. I'm Oceans, this is Beyond Bitcoin. Buckle up there, cowboys. We're about to zoom out of the universe about 21 million miles away. Okay, here's the whole thing in one line. Everything divided by 21 million. That's it. Looks familiar, right? We see this meme on shirts and coffee cups popularized by Knut Svanholm. Here's a big question. What does it mean to have everything divided by 21 million? It's easy to print on a t-shirt, but its message might be one of the most profound discoveries in our financial world.
So whenever there's a thought, I tend to extrapolate the thought vector into the extreme.
Okay.
So I guess that's how I came up with the idea of everything divided by 21 million. It's just like, what happens then? Well, it must be everything, like forever. Like,
yeah.
It like goes to infinity.
It just blows the mind too. It's really hard to wrap the mind around. But also at the same time, if you understand Bitcoin, then in some sense, it's also obvious, kind of.
Yeah. Then again, I don't think things will be infinitely valuable. It's just that prices can actually go down forever, and it's good for absolutely everyone on the planet Earth. It's literally every single person working for everyone else. It's just...
It breaks the brain because we're conditioned to think that like inflation is a natural thing. Like it's just a law of
inflation
nature.
Inflation is the greatest lie ever told.
Yes, it really is.
And you can see it all around you. Like if you just go into a 7-Eleven or something, just a supermarket, and you see all the stuff that's in there. And some of these supermarkets sell like shoes and bags and stuff also. Why? How can they do that? It's because all the stuff in the world is already in fiat land, almost infinitely cheap to produce.
Yes.
And ship.
Yeah.
So like all prices are trending to zero marginal cost, like and production costs. And so why shouldn't everyone be able to tap into that? The only reason is that some people have kidnapped the whole system and they are able to manipulate it. And and this has gone on for such a long time and so many generations that we've never had money with a fixed supply before. So no human being has ever experienced that. So that I guess that's why it's so hard to think outside the box. And you know how normies are. It's very hard for them to deprogram them when it comes to the concept of money.
Yeah.
Like, but then I could sell my Bitcoin like 2 years down the line and buy a Porsche. Like, you're missing the point, dude.
Totally.
Knut Svanholm didn't just come up with a catchy phrase.
That thought is so powerful.
He exposed maybe the most important piece of math in your lifetime. Everything is the total value of all wealth today. All buildings, houses, boats, barrels of bourbon, butter, biscuits, bass, guitars, basketballs, baked goods, bonbons, books, beds, bedtime stories, baths. Okay, enough of that. This number also includes all the wealth humanity will ever create in its future. That's the numerator side of this equation. The denominator, 21 million. This is the total number of Bitcoin that can ever exist and will ever be in circulation, hard-coded into the network. And here is where it gets simple enough for a 5-year-old. If the number grows, and it always grows, and the denominator stays the same, what happens to the price per unit? I bet you can guess.
All rise in the presence of Dark Helmet.
Yeah, it goes up. Supply, demand, you've heard it before. It's not a prediction, it's economic law. Let's break this numerator number down for a moment. Why not? Today, the numerator is, drum roll, The global gold market cap sits at $15 trillion, or $23 trillion, depending on what search engine you ask. This is the estimated present value of all gold in the world. Next, global real estate, $326 trillion. Next, global M2 money supply, $105 trillion. M2 money supply is the current money in circulation at the moment. So 105 trillion fiat garbage out there. Then there's stocks, bonds, art, commodities, ... The list truly never ends. We're talking about everything and anything you can slap a value onto. And yes, I know I changed my shirt, but you don't care about that. But let me reiterate, I'm just talking about now, 2025, at the dawn of the AI revolution. Imagine what kinds of goods and services that can be valued in the foreseeable future. A utopian future of Elon's bots serving us breakfast and walking our dogs. Fast forward to 2050, where we include space mining, gold and asteroids, AI-driven industries, new cities, new materials, new energy sources we can't even imagine yet. Space mining, yes. Elon Musk will be out there chiseling asteroids for gold. Probably sponsored by Gucci or Dolce & Gabbana if they're still around. Now here's the big head exploding part. Everything, every single unit of whatever you can dream of from now till forever will be competing for the 21 million Bitcoin. You're not just bidding against people who are alive right now. You're bidding against every human being that will ever live. So think for a second. How much wealth is already in the world? How much value can be split into units? Your car, your coffee, your trip to Cancun, everything that could be priced. Imagine dividing it by 21 million. It's a pretty big number, but that number is not fixed. Life changes. Things fluctuate. And this is the crazy part. That number on the numerator side continues to expand and contract, while the 21 million Bitcoin stay the same. So where does that put Bitcoin's price in the future?
The implied value today of a Bitcoin, today's purchasing power against today's balance sheet, is $43 million. And I'm not talking $43 million. I'm talking implied purchasing power of $43 million. And two things are going to, as you move forward, two things are going to happen. The existing balance sheet, which is just based on more pieces of paper, has to expand. And it has to expand a lot, right? So as that expands, then that implied purchasing power, then all prices will be higher inside that system. House prices will be higher, oil prices will be higher relative to the piece of paper. And that will expand that 43 million. That's why it's hard to quantify. And that 43, but if you said purchasing power today, but the purchasing power of that today will rise forever because prices will fall forever against it. So you're dealing with both things at the same time, and people are measuring the price through this other instrument that is extractive to what I just said.
The context is all within the time that you are doing these calculations. These calculations are never fixed. But let me bring you back down to earth for a quick word from our sponsor, Sat123.com. Sat123.com has gear for sovereignty that goes way beyond Bitcoin. Satellite phones, Faraday bags, and solar-powered generators. When the grid goes down, most people go dark, but with Sat123.com, you can keep your signal alive. Go to Sat123.com and put the promo code SIMPLY for 15% off your purchase. Wow, it's pretty good. Make sure you keep your signal when everyone has lost theirs. One thing is for sure, scarcity doesn't just change Bitcoin's price. In fact, most people stop right there. But if Bitcoin becomes the global denominator, the base unit that we price everything in, scarcity affects the price of goods and services, too. Imagine this. 1 Bitcoin today buys you a car. Well, today it'd buy you a really good car. But in 5 years, 1 Bitcoin will buy you 10 cars. 10 really good cars. And all these 10 cars will probably be self-driving, AI-driven, built-in espresso machine sort of deal. Why? Because the value of Bitcoin doesn't just rise. The price of goods and services in Bitcoin fall. This is the flip side of inflation. In fiat, goods and services actually get more expensive over time because your money gets weaker over time. And obviously in Bitcoin, goods and services get cheaper over time because your money gets stronger. Makes sense. That means wages, rent, energy, food, all of it will reprice in Bitcoin over time. It has to. And as Bitcoin strengthens, the same amount of it will buy you more life over time. Why would we price everything in Bitcoin? Legitimate question, which I'm sure we've answered many times on this channel, but I got a bit of a spin on it. Like it or not, borders are breaking down region to region, and even person to person. This can be expressed at a macro scale, geopolitically, or at a micro scale, personally. Nowhere else in our history have the lines of so many different things become blurred. Global conflicts, gender identities, musical mashups, brown shaken espresso, cold foam, latte. Take your pick. Because of this acceleration of borders breaking down, the money and value that we transmit from region to region and person to person becomes more and more abstracted and arbitrary. The internet, for instance, already made geography irrelevant for information consumption. Doesn't matter where you are, you can consume information from anywhere. And what Bitcoin does is make geography irrelevant for money. It breaks down the borders of money. The rise of Bitcoin signal in a population of confused and tired people, it's proof that global trade desires a neutral measuring stick. The dollar used to be that, but politics messed that up. And what's great about Bitcoin is it's trustless by design. So it doesn't matter if politics want to mess stuff up. And once oil, wheat, semiconductors, cloud storage, and yeah, probably even NFTs. I used to own a couple of NFTs myself. Don't tell anyone. When all these things are clearing in Bitcoin, everything divided by 21 million stops being a thought experiment and starts being a kind of life practice. Blah, 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 blah. At some point, people stop measuring Bitcoin in dollars, and they start measuring dollars in Bitcoin. The dollar will just be another entry into the numerator side of the equation, like a relic, salt or shells, whatever thing you want to stuff into that everything. The dollars will be one of them. In 20 years, how much will you pay for a $5 bill for Bitcoin? That's really the question. It would be funny if like a $5 bill was worth like $30 of Bitcoin today, just because of its nostalgia or something. And when that happens, it's not a question of what's Bitcoin's price. It's more of a question of how much of that 21 million do you own? This is the most one-sided trade in history. A finite supply of money against an infinite supply of value. And yeah, maybe in 2070 we'll be pricing Mars condos and asteroid jewelry and sats, but the math will still be the same. And if you're thinking, how do I get a share of that now and grow it over time? Well, mining is one of the purest ways to do that. Mining rig? Sazmining.com has got you covered. They host your miners, run them on clean energy, and then send you that Bitcoin without you having to deal with the noise, the heat, or your spouse asking you why your garage sounds like a jet engine. It's turnkey, it's green, and it's a way to earn Bitcoin 24/7. Go to Sazmining.com and book a call with one of their expert team members and start mining today. Everything forever divided by 21 million. It's not a slogan. That's the equation that will price your future. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The numerator will never stop growing, and the denominator will never change. And that's why the price can only go one way. Forever. I'm Oceans. This is Beyond Bitcoin. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the content and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and the like button below and the notification bell below, and you can get all the updates. We're coming out with content like this every single day of the week. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.